Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's about 10 till 5 in the morning. There goes the water truck cruising down the middle of Sukhumvit, right under the Prom Pong BTS, watering all the shrubs there. They do a pretty good job of taking care of the green belts, the parks and all. Yeah, he's hitting everything. Anyhow, it's about 5 minutes till 5 in the morning. I somehow sprung out of bed. How you doing? I sprung out of bed at 3 in the morning and couldn't fall back to sleep. I did go to bed early for whatever reason. I don't know, 9. I just get my 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep however I do it. If it's from noon to 5 and then I sleep again from 1 in the morning till 6, whatever. I'm getting plenty of sleep. I just don't have a bedtime and do it all in a row, so it is nice and cool. I'm out here checking out the city, waking up. Across the street is Sukhumvit, Soy 39. I'm not really sure where I'm heading. I'm gonna walk down Sukhumvit, see what I see. Again, everybody's starting to come in for the early shifts. There goes the air-conditioned bus. But I'm gonna walk in the direction of Asok, see where I end up. From Prom Pong to Asok, if I was in a hurry, less than 15-minute walk. Here's a billboard for this SLC clinic and hospital. Somebody was asking me, I did a video on Bumrungrad, which is probably one of the fanciest hospitals, not only in town, but in all of Thailand. It's also one of the more expensive. And where everybody is kind of on the same page, there are plenty of hospitals that will have excellent care. Bangkok Hospital, Samiti Way, on and on. But Bumrungrad's always in the discussion. If it's not, you know, the best, it's certainly in the conversation. But it comes at a cost. And this person said, I want to come over and do a bunch of tests cash, even a colonoscopy cash. However, he sent me a link to some clinic, and I'd never heard of it. It had a legit website. It was up by the embassy area in the Lumpini Park section of town, and he said, what do you think? And again, you know, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't know anything about anything. I looked at it. I said, it looks all legit, but I have no idea. But I would certainly not rush to Bumrungrad and pay. I think he said it was about 25 to 30% more on many of the procedures. And yeah, my insurance, I have, say, a $40 specialized copay. It doesn't matter if I go to a county hospital or a fancy hospital. I pay 40 bucks. So I told him if I didn't have that insurance in effect, excuse me, I would certainly look at other alternatives like some of these fancier clinics around town for basic blood work. This early morning is catching up with me a little bit. I need to go get a bottle of water. They'll do all the blood tests, and they also do a lot of preventative things over here. I remember in the US, they used to do these full body scans. Insurance didn't cover it, but they were looking at all the major organs for, I guess, tumors and this type of thing. And perhaps it stopped in the US. I don't know. It's all about lawsuits, and you told me I was all clear, and then this happened, that kind of thing, I would imagine. Well, over here, not so much. They are still doing, even at Bumrungrad, they'll call it like men's health screening. We'll do a CAT scan or what's the other one? Sonogram on all major organs, looking for any kind of tumors and just things that are out of the norm. That's still very popular over here. And that is the ice delivery man. No refrigerated truck, so I guess he better work fast. Heading over to this street food stand. I get a lot of comments about street food, and I just had one the other day. This person was saying, warning to everybody, you know, do not ever have a drink on the street because it's going to be dirty ice and these type of things. Do those type of things maybe happen? Yeah, but for the most part, most of these stands are not in the business of trying to get their customers sick. So you can see, ooh, their bus came pretty close. You can see that lady was certainly on the purified ice route, as to which I would say a very high percentage are. I personally have never had food poisoning or really any issues. I mean, I've had upset stomachs, but that's normal in California. I have had food poisoning in California twice, so it's a little hit or miss. If I want to enjoy a nice smoothie, I'm not going to worry so much that they're using hose water to make the ice. I think that is just not the norm. And with that said, I read something online, I don't know if it's true or not, that the water, sink water in the pipes, and I certainly brush my teeth and all with it, is safe to drink. It's probably more a matter of an older infrastructure on the pipes. I kind of feel the same way in California. Are they trying to poison me with the water? No. Is it perhaps coming through a 100-year-old cast iron pipe, even in California? Yeah, that could very well be possible. I know delivering mail, I'm seeing the guys out there tearing up the street and putting in the big green plastic pipes. But even that, who knows if that plastic pipe in the next 50, 60 years is going to break down into something that probably isn't that healthy for you. So it's all a crapshoot. Now, with that being said, there are countries around the world, and they're just a little sketchier than others as far as street stands and all. And India comes to mind. I would certainly never eat at a little street food stall in India. That's just me, but I'll see them washing up dishes in kind of a bucket of dirty water. Here in Thailand, yeah, these street food stands, they also have to use a bucket, but they're also changing the water often in the soap. I'm sure that water is coming straight out of the hose tap, but still, I don't eat a ton of street food. I have my, I don't know what you want to call them, like imchan, just little restaurants that are just a notch above. They're a restaurant with a kitchen and running water, but they're just a tiny bit more. If the street food price is, say, 60 baht, for 70 or 80 baht, you can eat at these little restaurants, and I just do that. For one, I can sit down, but have I had street food meals? Hundreds of times over the years, and it really just hasn't been an issue. I think most people are fairly sensible, but other people, I don't know, they might feel like if they ate street food one time, they have a 95% chance of getting food poisoning, and that's just not the case at all. Again, you saw the lady getting her ice delivered, and that person had, it appeared to be hundreds of bags of ice in there, so he's just going from one stand to another. In fact, I saw him give ice to the 3 different ladies. I'm sure that ice costs money, and I'm sure she would rather use free ice if she's going to make that huge amount of ice somewhere at home. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to begin with. So worrying about the smoothie person giving you tainted ice, yeah, I think she's probably making more ice than, or needs more ice than she's going to get out of her little refrigerator. I don't think too many people are making ice. And the motorbike stands, actually at the top of Soi 24 here, there are 3 guys standing by. So they're, what is today? A Wednesday. They're prepared for everybody heading off to work. The BTS is supposed to open at 5:30, but I hear something going on up there. I don't know if it's a repositioning of the train. I don't know. Maybe it starts at 5. I'm not really an early morning guy. And right at the bottom of the Prom Pong BTS in front of the Emporium Mall is this restaurant. They'll have their street food stands out front. They'll cook food up in the restaurant and then package it just so you can grab and go and run onto the train. I'll do that once in a while, but I've also sat down in there. I'm just not in a hurry these days to rush off to work. So sitting in the restaurant, that's just a little bit more enjoyable to me than eating out of the little plastic containers. Even when you get soup and these type of things, they'll put it in a baggie with a rubber band. You know, you take it home, put it in the bowl. I just eat at the restaurant. And this 5 o'clock in the morning is the time to navigate around Bangkok. I get it. Check-in at the hotel is oftentimes 3 p.m., but just pay the extra 40 bucks and tell them you're arriving at 5 in the morning. Do yourself a favor. I'll watch different YouTube videos about folks driving in from other parts of Thailand, and I reminded every time about why I hate Bangkok and hate driving here and all. And I'm just thinking to myself, why are you driving through Bangkok at 5 in the afternoon? That's just a recipe for disaster. Beginning of the year, the high season here in Bangkok, I just love the weather. It feels nice and cool. I had to look it up on the phone. I don't know how much you can trust that, but it says it's 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Somebody had asked me in the comments, they said, I heard it's going down to 55 degrees in Bangkok, and I don't know about that. Maybe up in Chiang Mai, when you get up on the hill, but this 69 degrees, it feels like 50 degrees. I'm actually a little cold, so maybe I'm climatized. Say what you want. Almost 70 degrees, and it just feels cold, which is nice because it's, you know, normally in the 90s, that type of thing. But if you're looking for the perfect weather, December, sometimes the second week of December, that kind of thing, it just switches like they flipped a light switch. It's 100 degrees one day, and then the next day it's 80 degrees, and it just makes such a difference. But anything towards around the holidays, they're saying it might be cool January, February here in 2025. We'll see. I don't remember February being that cool in 2024, so I'll take it. I'm walking by the Emporium Mall attached to the Prom Pong BTS, and on the other side of the street where they were fixing that window was the Quartier Mall. Now the new walkway goes down to the M-Sphere Mall. All three connected. One very rich Thai lady. I had her in a couple of my videos with Miss Thailand. I believe she owns all of these malls. She might even own Siam Paragon. Here's Benjasiri Park, right in between the two malls. Opens at 4:30. Certified guide dogs only. I see a fair amount of people in there getting in an early morning jog, workout. It's a nice water feature in the middle of the park. In the background there is the Marriott Marquis, beautiful hotel on Sukhumvit, Soi 22. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, all these parks close at 10. This Benjasiri, Benjakitty, Lumpini, 10 p.m. I wish they would go till midnight. Very popular until 10. And I met a nice couple from New Jersey, Joe and Lisa, just across the street here at O'Shea's Pub. I'll show you where that is in a second. And he told me that they enjoy watching my videos, but decided to stay in this Prom Pong area. The last time they stayed up, well, not far, more in a sulk, up on, I think, Soi 16 or Soi 18, I can't remember. And they never really ventured up here to Prom Pong, but I kind of play this area up in my videos. I just love it here. I lived a year in En Nut, and I was always here around Prom Pong. So this is where I moved, and I'm going into my second year here in Prom Pong. And I know it's a little expat central, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not pretending to be Thai. I am an expat. I eat plenty of Thai food. Again, all these type of things, but I also like going to an Irish pub once in a while. Well, I like going to an Irish pub often, and there's nothing wrong with that. You'll find all the conveniences all over Bangkok, especially in this Prom Pong area. They're doing a nice job putting in these old-fashioned looking street lamps, but they're 2 months old. A couple of dogs have cruised by me. They're just running down the sidewalk. Don't try to pet these dogs. I mean, I love dogs as much as the next guy, but these are kind of savvy. I won't call them soy dogs. He obviously was a very healthy looking dog. I'm sure he just rolled into work with his boss, and it's just kind of the norm. Yeah, let the dog go run around for a little bit and he'll be back. Hey, there goes a train. So it's certainly before 5:30, so maybe the train starts at 5. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a 5 in the morning train guy. I think I said 5:30 in the past, but there you go. You have to look that up. Maybe it's 5 a.m. But what I was getting at, just let that dog be. He really doesn't expect somebody to pet him on the head, and he might nip at you. And it's very dark, but directly across from the park at Sukhumvit Soi 33/1 is the Robin Hood Tavern, O'Shea's, the Royal Oak. It's just a little pub alley. It's a really good Japanese bakery, a Fuji market. That market, I believe, is 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. Off my left shoulder here is a 24-hour Via market. So on the Robin Hood and O'Shea side of the road, you see Sunrise Tacos. That's 24 hours. The Easy Burger on the right, that's a pretty good burger. I think they're open till 2. It was midnight for the longest time. They're just getting so popular. And right to the right of Sunrise is the 24-hour market. And here's a sweeper, sanitation lady. You'll find these folks all over town, just sweeping the gutters, taking pride in the city. It's a big, huge city with trash and all. The one thing, I'm not a big complainer, but the one thing I would really like to see is a more organized trash system with dumpsters. And I know people complain about 5 in the morning, the trash truck banging the dumpster around, but what they seem to do, even at my condo, is they just fill the plastic garbage cans, you know, the type that the clog wraps, and they just roll 25 of those out front, and then they pick them up in the garbage truck. The other thing you'll see walking up all these streets, there go some construction workers off to work. They'll just pile the bags up, like say right here on the street, 100 hefty bags, and there are rats around, so they'll be running around those piles of trash, and then the old school garbage truck comes down the way and they just hand lift it into the truck. So yeah, if there were a little bit more streamlined garbage collection system, maybe that would cut back on these little Mickey Mouses running around. And there's that construction crew. They're pouring into the new Conrad Hotel project right next to the M-Sphere Mall. It says it's coming in 2026. Here's an artist's rendering. It's going to be a beautiful hotel, taller than the mall. Just across from the M-Sphere, Sukhumvit Soi 33. If you're looking for O'Shea's, the Robin Hood, don't confuse 33 with 33/1. 33/1 is a solid football field, maybe even more down this way across from the park. And most of these shopping malls around town are 10 in the morning until 10 p.m. I think this M-Sphere is doing something a little different, staying open until midnight. I don't know the last time I was in there that late. It may be for the restaurants more than retail, but count on 10 to 10. And this man on, what is that, a Zamboni? Out polishing the sidewalks. Again, I just really like how Thailand takes a lot of pride in doing the best they can, patrolling the area and keeping things clean, compared to neighboring countries, not so much. And that little business in the center of the screen, directly across from the mall, Asia Copy, very nice family. Go on in there with a thumb drive or an email on your phone. You need something printed out, immigration needs, passport photos, they'll take care of you. And if you're looking for a little taste of the United States, nothing wrong with that. On the bottom floor of the M-Sphere, here's a Shake Shack. I've never had the burger. We were talking about it, a group of us, and a guy from New York, I guess that's where Shake Shack started, Paul, he said it tasted darn near the same as New York City. I'm not a huge hot dog guy, but I've probably 3 times had the hot dog in there over the years, and it tastes like a nice all beef hot dog compared to some of these, I don't know if they're turkey dogs or different things you might find around town. Buddy's Bar and Grill, They also have a really good chili dog. I think he told me an expat in Pattaya makes his links and hot dogs. Soi 31 across the way. I'm looking at the S-Box Hotel. If somebody asked me my opinion, there goes a super bike, I'll tell them, take a look at this Prom Pong area to stay in a hotel and a condo even. I love living here. But down this 31 are plenty of slightly more affordable than, well, way more affordable than, say, the Marriott Marquis on Soi 22. Those are going to be $200 a night. Maybe you can get a deal, maybe even more than 200. But, you know, if it's lower season and you get it for 150 a night, that's a deal. If you want just a nice, clean, 10-story type hotel, the Soi 31 has a lot of offerings, hopefully under 50 bucks. I personally wouldn't head to a hostel or a $15 hotel room in Bangkok. That's probably not going to be a great experience unless you're in your 20s. Who cares? Live, you know, stay in a bunk bed, and more power to you. I'd rather see a 20-year-old out traveling on a tight budget staying in a hostel. But if you're an adult, yeah, plan on spending 40, 50, 60 bucks and you're going to get a really nice place. But if you want to splurge a little, this is where you splurge. You don't do that in Tokyo, Paris, Singapore. But here in Bangkok, you could stay at the best of the best, often for less than 200 bucks, sometimes less than $150. And with that being said, I think one of the finest hotels in the world, and I'm drawing a blank on the name. I know there's the Mandarin Oriental, and for whatever reason, the finer hotels, or considered some of the finest, are on the Chao Phraya River, which river's okay. There's just not a whole lot going on up there. Yeah, beautiful hotel on the river, and then you'll come down here Sukhumvit way to hang out at, do a little partying. But some of those hotels up there, the sky's the limit. I think that one that was listed, it was either listed as the finest or in the top 5 hotels in the world. I think it oftentimes is closer to $1,000 a night. One of those type places that each room comes with a butler. Yeah, that's not in my price range unless they're offering rooms on points. Here's the Holiday Inn at the top of Soi 22. This 22 area is very popular with tourists from India. The Marriott Marquis down the way on 22. Very rich Indian tourists like to hang out in there. Also flight crews. I used to go often to the Hangover Bar just a short distance away, and I talked to pilots from Etihad, I believe. Another guy flew for Oman Air. I've seen in the hotel, I think Lufthansa flight crews. Yeah, I mean, the airport is, I'm guessing 20 miles away, 25 miles away, and they want to stay more in the heart of Bangkok. I get that. There's some beautiful hotels out by the airport. It's just a little boring out there. Oh, but I was talking about that Holiday Inn, which is part of the IHG, the Intercontinental Hotel Group. You also have the Intercontinental Hotel. That's the flagship. And oftentimes you'll find a Holiday Inn and Intercontinental attached, so they can share maids or whatever they do, even food. That is the case up the way next to the, the Chilom BTS station up by Central World Mall. You'll have the 2 hotels. I'm a big IHG points guy. I have the credit cards. I have a link for the IHG card through Chase up on my channel bar. There's a couple of links for different travel credit cards. Take a hard look at that IHG card. I forget what the offer is. Something like put $2,000 on the card in 90 days and get a ton of IHG points. It might take care of most of your vacation if you're okay staying at, say, a Holiday Inn Express. There are several around town. There's one on Soi 11. They're not quite as fancy or large as the full-on Holiday Inn, but it's a nice clean place, usually with a more Western style mattress. That's a big complaint with folks coming anywhere in Southeast Asia. A lot of the mattresses are like laying on a board. Even at my condo, condos will come with a mattress, and I have to have that. I don't have to, but it makes my life easier to have. It's just a 2-inch memory foam, but without that, it's pretty darn solid. Across the street from the Holiday Inn, the El Toro Argentinian Brazilian Steakhouse. I think I had a steak sandwich there 10 years ago. I'm not a huge, going in and paying $80 for a nice, whatever, maybe it's more, maybe it's less, steak dinner. I did it. There goes the old school garbage truck I was talking about. And you can see, those are hardworking guys, but all those bags on top of the garbage truck, they're taking out the cans and the bottles and separating all the recycling. I'm not sure if that's a side gig they're doing, or if that's just part of their job to separate the recyclables. At my condo, I've definitely seen the recycle truck and the garbage truck, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But I'll oftentimes see those guys on the side of the road. It's kind of nasty business going through those garbage bags and pulling out all the different cans and bottles. And I'm at the top of Soi 22. All those sliding doors, garage door type things are just small little bars. Angel Bar, Country Bar, Auto Bar. If you're looking for a taste of Bangkok, but maybe Nana Plaza is a bit much, I would say Soi Cowboy is a lot more touristy. Red light area. Nana Plaza, it's a little bit more intense, loud. Soi Cowboy, it kind of pours out onto the street. There are plenty of places. It's just a short little street. I mean, not even as long as a football field. But you can hang out on the patio and just soak up some of the energy and stick your head in behind closed doors. They're not really like strip clubs. It's more like 20 or 30 ladies on stage at the same time, and they're just dancing, and they all have a little number, and different customers might come in and ask Mama-san or Papa-san to invite number 33 or number 101 over to the table for a ladies' drink and conversation. It's that way. It's really nothing seedy. Sure, there are things going on in those different places, but more so that's where guys are going to meet those ladies, and then they go off to their hotels and these things. So don't be afraid to stick your head in there, have a drink, listen to the music. But if that's even a bit too much for you, there are streets like this Soi 22. These are way more mellow. I'll call Cowboy more go-go bars behind closed doors. These are just out in the open beer bars. There are still ladies that are there working, but it's a much more mellow environment. You can go there, not be hassled or bothered. You can go there with your wife, whatever, girlfriend, and just sit there, again, having a beer. Be polite. The ladies that are working in the bar, they work hard, and they also they have arrangements where they have to hustle for ladies' drinks. Here comes, yeah, I guess that's a very small little garbage truck. I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I don't know, but that's a tiny garbage truck. But if I'm in one of these little beer bars, I'll kind of make it clear. Oh no, they'll come over. Hey, what's your name? Hey, yeah, you're very beautiful, but yeah, I have a girlfriend. I'm not looking for any kind of trouble, but why don't I buy you a beer? And they'll take their beer and go off in another direction and get a little credit, make a little points with the boss, because they are there to sell drinks for the boss. What happens in their personal business, that's nobody's business, not the boss. But as they're sitting there in the bar, they're supposed to be selling drinks. I know some folks take not offense to it, but I didn't even sit down before 5 girls approached me asking me to buy them a drink. Well, yeah, it's not a public library. You're walking into an establishment where these ladies are trying to sell drinks. And oh, by the way, if they don't sell X amount of drinks, whatever the agreement is with the boss, they don't get paid for that day. Or again, I'm not saying I know exactly how every bar works, but I do know there are quotas and that type of thing. So if it's going to cost me $3, even a whole whopping $5 US, I'm going to buy somebody a beer, or a drink, even if it's fruit juice. Sometimes that's another thing guys will complain about is, can you believe they were charging whatever it was, let's make up the number, 250 baht for a lady's drink, and it was orange juice. Yeah, I can believe it. These ladies aren't really looking to get drunk. They're looking to put food on the table. And you can see even this smaller garbage truck, they are separating out every bit of plastic and certainly aluminum. It's all money. That little garbage truck did pull in front of this one bar, so maybe that's a private pickup with that bar. I don't know how things work over here as far as garbage collection. I kind of assume it's like a city deal, but maybe it's private. I have no idea. And see, this is what I'm talking about here, just these big bags of garbage laying all around. Usually they're sealed up, but they're just waiting for the guy to come and sort through them. Well, maybe she's using that for her garbage, this street food lady. Well, obviously she is. But it's just not as good a system as everything sealed up in dumpsters. Again, I'm not going to change Thailand, but if I had one wish, it would be that these big bags of garbage weren't everywhere, and that cut down on some of the rodents. And this is looking down Sukhumvit Soi 20. I really like this 20, 18, and 16. Great little streets. There's a Courtyard by Marriott down on the right. Up a little ways on the left is a Best Western. There is a really good sports bar right here where this metal gate is. It used to be, I think it was called the Sports Corner Bar. Well, now it's Sports on 20, just almost where those headlights are up on the left. Great little sports bar. Yeah, it's kind of across the street from the Courtyard by Marriott. But Soi 20 has plenty of condo options. It's not super cheap, but you are right in central Bangkok. And at the top of Soi 20, Buddy's Bar and Grill. I was mentioning their chili dog earlier. They also have a Buddy's up on Soi 22. Ooh, where else? There's one down in the Nana at the top of Soi 8, I believe. There's one in Siloam, and there's one in, I don't know if it's Soi 81 or Soi 89, kind of in the En Route Punawinti BTS area. Last Friday of the month at Buddy's on Soi 22, they have an all-you-can-eat barbecue. I can't remember. It's like $10. Really good, though. Like prime rib roast cut up, their homemade chili, links, cornbread, I think. It's a nice meal. The last Friday, Buddy's by the Holiday Inn there at Soi 22. Across the street is Soi 25. There's some interesting low-rise buildings, just 6- and 8-story buildings that I really like. You're kind of in the middle of two BTS stations. You have Prom Pong behind me, and up ahead, Terminal 21, maybe a 10-minute walk to the Asok Sukhumvit Junction. So even though you're in central Bangkok, nothing is going to be super cheap in central Bangkok, but if you can do, call it $800 US a month to be right here in a 8-story building, that's a pretty darn good deal. You can easily spend $2,000 US for your rent, some of these fancier buildings in the area. Here's the Lexus dealership at the top of Soi 18. I like this 18 a lot. You can go down the way. There's the Rembrandt Hotel, the Blue Boar restaurant and bar, real popular with a lot of my friends in their dart leagues. Just a nice little tree-lined street. You also have the walk bridge here at the top of 18 to go across, and you're right at Soi 23. You go a short distance down. No, I'm good. Guy scared me. Guy came out of nowhere going up the sidewalk. Yeah, he's stand to reason. Frong standing on the sidewalk at whatever it is, 5:45 in the morning, needs a ride home. But yeah, he scared me there. But yeah, you'll find Soy Cowboy up Soy 23. We're getting pretty close to, you can see it straight ahead where that Westin is. Just look down below, that's the Asok BTS station. I'm crossing over on the over bridge here to get from the even side over to the odd side, then I'll make my way up towards Terminal 21 shopping mall. And more ladies working hard. You don't see a lot of street sweepers, at least I've never seen one around town, but I'll see hundreds of people manning their brooms every day. Hey, well there you go. There's a little early morning peak. I think it's about 10 till 6 now. Just wandering from Prom Pong, and that's Asok BTS straight ahead. So thanks for following along with me on this early morning Bangkok walk. There will be plenty more videos to come. You take it easy and have a great morning. We'll see you.